I decided to drive my 40-year-old bus 1,800 kilometers in the middle of winter. Buy an off-grid homestead. Just kidding, I already bought the property, but needed a clickbait title. So I decided though to drive my 40-year-old bus to the property because I had a job and I lost it and I had nothing to do. So I thought if I don't get a job in 2 weeks, then I'm gonna take my bus to my property. I did line up a job here, but you'll hear more about that. Everything started out pretty okay, and I started by driving a Subaru that I bought for $100, which was going great and it was driving amazing, and I was like, how did I get this thing for $100? Like, it was amazing until Abbotsford, 3 more hours to go until I got to the island, and the exhaust fell off. And it sounded great, you know, a nice straight pipe Subaru really, you know, gets me going. It got me going a little too fast. Going too fast in a Subaru with 300,000 K lasts about 3 hours. And so I just barely pulled up to the ferry terminal. All that I prayed for was that I made it off of the ferry. And I made it off of the ferry, then I had 15 more minutes to go. And you know, if I made it, great. If not, give it away for free on the side of the road. I didn't think it'd be that big of a problem. So somehow, I make it to the bus. Once I got the bus, I was pretty pumped. I started driving the bus. I drive it into town, and it's driving okay. Drive it to the ferry, and then at the ferry terminal, I got there at 11 because that's when it said online that the ferry would be there. And the ferry left at 10. So he's like, oh, well, there's one at 3 o'clock, and you'll get there at 6. I was like, okay, that's not great. Like, I'm losing a day. I wanted to get to Saskatchewan by Tuesday or Wednesday, so that I got like this job that I was gonna get, right? So there was an interview, which you'll hear more about later. So I get off the ferry, I'm driving the bus, you know, it's all good, and like it's kind of being a little weird at 80, it's like making a bit of a humming noise, and I didn't think anything of it, it was still driving fine. 4 hours away from Cranbrook. The van starts running like shit. 60 on a regular road, and when there's an incline of 1 degree or higher, I'm going 20 kilometers an hour, and I still have like 15 hours to go. There's no heat on the floor. Through this though, you know, I learned some valuable lessons about expectations, setting them, when to set them, when to just say, you know what, none of this is gonna go as planned. Things are going great. So I decide, okay, well, maybe if I just put a little bit of work into it, it'll be okay. Now I'm in Fernie, like keep in mind I've driven to Fernie, doing basically 30, 40 kilometers an hour, 60 if it's downhill. $168 later, I took it to the shop here, the Chevy dealer, because everywhere else was booked up. I thought, okay, well, you know, professional technicians. So I asked if they could work on carbs, and they said, yeah, we got 2 guys that are good at that. So, 168, they adjusted what needed to be adjusted apparently on the carb. So, okay, it's still doing the thing it was doing before. And I drive to Sparwood, doing 30 to 60. Keep in mind, I have no hazard lights. This entire time, I've not had my hazard lights on. In fact, I bought a little beacon to kind of help because people were honking all the time, and I mean, I felt bad. And I make it to Sparwood, and I start, you know, taking the stuff off and putting new plugs in, put the new wires in, and I adjust the distributor a little bit. And it is running great. I go for a little rip around town. Well, you know, I might as well keep going. Like I've wasted so much time, and it was the next day that I had a phone interview with a job in Saskatchewan. So I was like, okay, I need to get on the road because I need to get there. As you can imagine, everything is great for like an hour, you know, like for an hour, I'm doing 80, sometimes 90, you know, and I'm feeling great. The best that this thing has ever run from the time I've owned it. I stop at a gas station and I shut the van off, which is such a dumb thing to do knowing how unreliable it is. And I go back and I try and start it, and it barely starts. The negative terminal was like melted, and I didn't even want to question it. It was running and driving. I was on the road again. So I've been driving since 8 o'clock in the morning, doing 60. 6-7 hours to go, so I think. 6-7 hours is if you're going 100 kilometers an hour. I'm going like 60. Fast forward, I'm on the road and driving for a couple hours, and I've made like, I think I've made it like 50 kilometers, and I'm just like, I have 450 kilometers to go. Like, how long is this actually gonna take me? All right, so I finally pull over, time to take a rest, and I get on the phone, and I call because I have this phone interview, right? And actually I'd called the day before and just said, hey, like, yeah, I got that phone interview, I'm still driving, so I'm gonna have to probably take it tomorrow. And then I call and they're like, oh yeah, we went with someone else. And I was like, went with somebody else? Like, you didn't even interview me. Why? You know, like what? You didn't tell us ahead of time if it was gonna be a phone interview or an in-person interview. Maybe it was my bad because I was like out of it. Driving for that long, getting 4 hours of sleep or less, waking up and driving again at 60 with no air conditioning and frostbite because no heat on my feet, and it was chaos. There've been so many things that have went wrong that all I want is just to get there, and I just have to be patient. And I had to just choose, like, am I gonna drive and be pissed off and angry the whole time, or am I gonna drive for like 9 hours or whatever, or am I just gonna drive and like try and make the best of it? Dude, I made it to fucking Saskatchewan. A little more snow than I imagined. Hey, I guess you can't see me. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm done. Good morning. Can't really see. Oh, ready? That's better. It's real shit weather out there. And it's so funny, I got this neighbor and he keeps coming up to me like he saw me last night. And he's like, yo, you better be in for some shit. And then he saw me walk into the store. And he's like, how do you like this? So I got some oil, I'm putting it in the generator. I'm walking out there today. It's like, okay, I kind of realized something. I want to work on the outhouse, but like, where am I going to work on it? On the back of my deck with all this wind and everything? Not going to last very long. I'll be in and out super quick. So what I figure is like, might as well build a little lean-to. I got a bunch of pallets here, and I was going to use them for a different little like outbuilding or something, and I want to kind of organize the land and, you know, have a lot of intention with everything that I build. But for now, for winter, and just like this is going to be my space for at least, you know, 6 months probably. Anyways, I was just, you know, I like had the generator running, messing around, and then this lady came over, who was my neighbor, and was super friendly. And it was like, you know, really incredible to have somebody come up and just want to have a conversation. So all along this drive, it's all off-grid. So everyone that lives here is off-grid. They've got solar or whatever, you know, power source they have, and they all have to, most of them haul their water. There's some wells. That was one of the things that kind of attracted me to it too. It just seemed like, oh, maybe there's a bit of a cool community there. And sure enough, it was really cool. And also like the philosophy on why she came here. It's really similar with me wanting to just get away and like be off-grid and build stuff all the time and be outside all of the time. Just made me feel super appreciated. And, you know, I wasn't feeling super appreciated. It's kind of beat down after the whole trip. This could be a reflection of how this entire adventure could turn out if I wanted it to. So I made it. The trip was a success. I learned a hell of a lot, and I like doing adventures like this because they really challenge you. They force you to be an optimist, because if you're negative the whole time, like, you're not gonna make it. My plan is, oh, I'm not facing the wind. Okay, plan is to make this where I have some chickens that can run through the trees and fertilize, and I'll have a garden over there in the trees. The cabin's gonna go also behind the trees and face that way. And then I don't know what to do with the rest of the land, so let me know what you guys think. I feel like it'd be cool to have a couple more cabins in case people come over. Maybe make like a, you know, wood-powered sauna, all those kind of cool things. But for now, you know, just got to do the basics. Oh yeah, and I did plant an apple tree. I did plant an apple tree right there. So that's cool. That should produce apples next year. This is the property. If you guys have ideas or like cool, you know, things you think I should do, and I've got a lot of property, so like I want to, you know, do a little diagram, and in the summer I'm gonna plant trees around the property edge. I know that for sure, and make a bit of a like food forest and do permaculture. I've got a lot of ideas, you know, I really do, but I want to take my time and make sure that I make something that's really efficient and, you know, aligns with my values. So if you guys enjoyed, drop a like, subscribe. The videos now are, it's just gonna be, you know, homestead videos. So if you're into that, stay tuned, definitely subscribe. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. Merry Christmas.